Now's the time, Portal Master.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another SkylanderNutts Superchargers character review. Now today I'm going to be reviewing Hurricane Jet-Vac. We're going to look at the legendary Hurricane Jet-Vac and their signature vehicle, the Jetstream. Alright, now you might remember Jet-Vac from some older games. He's been in every game since Skylanders Giants. And now he's a supercharger. This means he's going to have some different attacks. He's not the same as all the other versions. In some ways that's going to be better, in other ways it's probably kind of still the same. He's got one attack that is still the same, and that is his little suction attack with his vacuum gun. So that they can't get rid of because that's what makes Jet-Vac Jet-Vac. Alright, so let's take a close look at Jet-Vac here, this Hurricane Jet-Vac Supercharger Edition. Now we can see he kind of doesn't look too different than before. He's like an eagle character here. He's got his little, whatever those are, eagle ears. He has a slightly different version of his gun. It's not turbo, it's not double-fisted this time. It is this Jet-Vac gun that he's kind of always had some version of. He's got his Jet-Vac backpack on. This is very important for Jet-Vac. It actually gives him the ability to fly. Now in other games he actually has flying moves. In this game he doesn't quite fly the same way, but he does jump and hover. And we take a look all the way around. He's got some eagle claw fingers there. Now one thing you'll notice about Jet-Vac as I turn him, he has no wings. Eagles should have wings, but he doesn't have his wings. He actually gave his wings to another lady in distress, I guess. I don't know if it was an eagle or not. But during a rescue mission before he was a Skylander, he gave away his wings to save somebody else. And that is actually how he became a Skylander. So instead of wings, he was given this Jet-Vac backpack that allows him to fly again. So he does fly because of this big jet backpack on his back. Other than his gun and his typical, I don't know, gauntlets I guess he has, some light armor, he's pretty much the same Jet-Vac we've always known and loved. Now let's take a look at the legendary Jet-Vac. He is the same pose, but now he's in a more blue and gold paint scheme like all of the legendary characters are. Now compared to his regular character, I kind of like the legendary version better. The blue and gold seems very striking in comparison. His light blue and white and gray kind of seems boring. So, and this is one of the rare characters I kind of prefer the paint of the legendary Jet-Vac. Everything about him is the same. He's still got the Jet-Vac backpack. Sometimes it's hard to tell the detail with just two colors on the legendary character, but in this case it's not that big a deal. Unfortunately my character, look at him wobble. Not quite flat. Oh well. Maybe that's just my character, but it's a little annoying when you're doing video, but on the portal it's no big deal. Alright, now let's take a look at the Jetstream. Now this vehicle kind of is just a flying vehicle. Now it looks like, I don't know, an airplane I guess, bird with wings. It's a very good representation of Jet-Vac and the eagle, but in a now vehicle form. He's got jet blade things in his wings. See, that's pretty cool. They're on the sides of his vehicle as well. So those are all just like his Jet-Vac backpack. Now this toy actually does this. See? The wings will move and go down. Now I did not recognize that for the first week or so we had the character. I didn't, you know, it was just always like that, and I thought that's the way it was, just a plain airplane, no big deal. But it does have some movement to it, so you can make him, you know, kind of fly on his own. They both move. I don't have to move both of them separately. They're all together in one piece. So be careful with that. It does seem like it might break if you do it too often or pull too hard. They're not held on there by very much. So I imagine this, if you step on it, it's probably an easy point to break. Alright, so here's all three of them now. Back together again. Hurricane Jet-Vacs and the jet stream. Now I'm going to take these guys into the game and we're going to look at his attacks. We're going to have both upgrade paths to look at. And we're going to play the Battle Brawl Island, and so we can get a look at all their attacks. And we'll find out if Jet-Vac is worth getting again, if you already have them, or if you haven't had them before, maybe this is the one you should pick up. So, alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to get them in the game, and stay tuned.
Jetstream, brass lock engine, brass feather wings, avian razors, supercharged.
Alright, so I'm back and I've got Hurricane Jet-Vac on the portal ready to go. We're at Battle Brawl Island getting ready to show you his attacks. So let's get back into the game. Now, Jet-Vac's main attack is called Shooting the Breeze. And if he shoots these fan blades that you see right there. Now you'll notice something about it sometimes. For the most part, they're going to disappear when they shoot because it's just one of them. But when there are multiple enemies, they bounce off. There's one that bounced off. And let me shoot a bunch at the wall. See them bouncing off the wall? The best thing about the blades is that they'll bounce off the wall, they'll bounce off other enemies, and they'll do a lot of damage when you just start firing blindly everywhere. So it's a little bit harder to do that at Battle Brawl Island, but you see a bunch of them bounce off there. I guess because they're the boulders it can hit. If it knows something is on the screen that it can attack, it'll bounce. Otherwise, it just kind of disappears. But that's a pretty cool attack for Jet-Vac. His second attack is called Jet Turbine Vacuum. Now this is kind of the same that he's always had. Now most of his attacks are different now, but you can't get rid of the iconic vacuum. Unfortunately, it's not going to work very well against these bigger guys, so I'm going to hold off on showing that until maybe the next round. But I can show a move called the Summer Assault. Now this Summer Assault is his upgraded third attack. So by pressing the attack 3 button, he'll dash toward his enemy like that and kick him. You gotta stay away from this fire. There. Kicked him once there. It's kind of hard to show, but there we go. The good thing about this particular attack is he's also jumping that shockwave. There we go. So it's almost like a dash attack, but he doesn't go through anybody. Now that we have 2 of them, I can use my blades and they'll bounce off more. So there's the Summer Assault. You can see it. He jumps forward with his feet. It's a pretty decent attack, but it's not great. It's kicking these sheep though right off the platform. Sometimes the enemies get kicked a long way, sometimes they don't. These sheep, they seem to go flying, which is kind of fun. The blades, I don't think will bounce much off the sheep because they're too weak, and one blade will just destroy the sheep. Let's see, can I do the vacuum? The vacuum will destroy the sheep as well. Now a lot of times that vacuum will suck in the enemy, but again, that's not going to be something I can show until we get to some of the smaller enemies that are able to be picked up. And that's kind of one of the problems with that attack, is that it just won't pick everybody up, so it's not one I end up trying to use a lot. Alright, there's one other attack called Hurricane Hurrah. So let me skip through his yapping, and if we hold down this attack 1 button, we're going to see it work here. Oh, it went the wrong direction. I'm trying to get a good shot off here. There he goes. He got sucked into it for a second, and then he fell off the edge. he's stuck on the... And he fell off the edge. Alright. I could have shown it on these guys if I could have gotten it off in time. There we go. But again, they're pretty weak. So it just sits there. It's a hurricane that spins on the ground. It takes a second to activate. Unfortunately, somebody gets caught in it. It's an okay attack, but again, it's by itself, it's not one that you'll want to use a lot. Now, this Jet-Vac has the Blade Vac path upgrades, and this all of these upgrades upgrade that hurricane that you just saw. So the first one is called Category Pain, and with this upgrade, you can shoot blades into the hurricane. So let me try to set up. There's the hurricane. Now if I shoot some blades in it, you can see the blades spinning around. It did some damage on the guy as well. So there's some blades in the hurricane. Of course, nobody's over there. Now the problem with the hurricane is that it just kind of goes across the screen and it doesn't necessarily head toward the enemy. It also takes a second to hold it down and you can move him around when he's waiting to start it, but other than that, it's a little bit of a problem to wait for it to charge up, and then you can let it go. See, it doesn't follow him like some of the other Skylander attacks do. Alright, there's a couple other basic upgrades we should talk about as well. One is called Better Blade Bounces. That will allow these fan blades to bounce more. You can't really tell this level probably, but when there are a lot of enemies around, the blades just start causing chaos, bouncing off everybody 2 to 3 to 4 times. That's pretty cool. The other upgrade is called Make Them Soar. This gives it more power to the somersault kick. So you saw the somersault right there. So that'll do more power after that basic upgrade. Alright, now he's got a couple other attacks in his Blade Vac path. One is called Hurricano, as I try to avoid being hit here. When you hold the attack 1 button down and release it to create the hurricane, the hurricane's going to explode when it's done. So let's watch for that. And there it is, explosion. So it doesn't really add that much flash or flare to the attack, but I guess it does a little bit more damage. Oh look, here's a guy I can suck up in the vacuum now. There we go. Sucked him up, and then if you want to hit the button again, you can throw him right off the edge. That's really the best use of that attack, I think. Yeah, I could have thrown him at the big guy there as well, but if I do that and it doesn't kill the guy I sucked up, then you have to suck him up again or deal with his attack some more, because he's going to continue to come at you. Well, the last attack he has in his Blade Vac path upgrade is called Splitting Air, and it says that you press the attack 1 button down to shoot a bouncing blade while holding an enemy. I guess I can't show that at the moment because I just got rid of the last guy there that I could pick up. Let's see if one comes back. I don't think so. This is it for Captain Bristlestash.
Here is your winner! And now for your intermission enjoyment, the culinary exploits of the
I wonder if I can pick up the food thief. Nope. Can't pick up the food thief. I can kick him, but he doesn't go flying. Just releases food that I don't need. I could use 1 piece maybe. 1 piece of 693. That pretty much, I guess 2 pieces would make sure I had full health. But nope, he's going to drop about 100 pieces, so. There we go. No more food thief. Now I got to deal with Spell Slamzer. Now what you might notice is Jet-Vac does not really have a lot of advantage against the big boss type characters. he's a lot better against large numbers of medium characters, where those blades can bounce off and do a lot of damage. He still does good range damage on somebody like him. He can jump in the air, hang for a second. But even the spell punks can't be picked up. Oh, there, I picked up one of the ghosts that they created. Alright, while he's picked up, I hit the X button, I can still shoot based on that one upgrade. I am not even convinced that I couldn't do that before. So it sort of makes that splitting air upgrade a little bit irrelevant. And most of that path is irrelevant. It doesn't do a whole lot. I guess the best thing would be putting the blades in the hurricane there. It looks cool. I'm sure it does more damage, but did you see how long the hurricane lasts? It doesn't last that long. In the end, it's just not worth doing at all. It's a lot easier to just spam your X button, get those blades going, dodge the attack. It's a good ranged attack, and if there were other enemies around, the blades would bounce more and you'd do a whole lot of chaotic damage. So the blade attack is fun, but the rest of the attacks, not so much. I am now going to switch to my legendary Jet-Vac to show you the Hurricane Hawk path. These will upgrade your third attack, the turbine attack. Or I'm sorry, they upgrade your summer assault attack. So all of his summer assaults will be a little more powerful. So his first upgrade in that path is called Turbulent Turbine. Alright? Now if you press the attack 3 button to dash forward, like that, enemies behind you will be attacked. So let me try to... See that? He took 16 damage. I wasn't facing him and I jumped away. There we go. So there's a small section. If I don't get close enough, it's not going to work. See? That didn't hit him. That didn't hit him. So you got to be pretty close to the enemy to do that damage behind him when he kicks. Otherwise, you just kick as normal. His second attack is called Talon Takeoff. Now, enemies hit at the end of the somersault are knocked back even further and take more damage. This is not anything you're going to notice, especially against a big guy like Spellslamzer. I guess there might be more damage there, but he's not getting knocked back at all because he's a big guy. And again, a lot of these attacks from Jet-Vac don't do anything special to the big guys. His last upgrade in this path is called Double Flip. Basically, if I hit the Y button and keep hitting it, he will do rapid. See? Kind of jumps rapidly across once. And that means you can just sit there and spam the Y button and kick them over and over again. And there we go. You can eventually kick people off ledges. That's kind of nice. But again, he takes a lot of damage when he's up close to people. So it's not necessarily the best thing to do. Now the blades, here's a good example of the blades. You can see him bouncing off one, going to the other, and now the other one is about dead too. So again, I go back to the blades before I do any of these other upgraded special path attacks. They just aren't worth it. The summer assault's not worth it. He takes too much damage just standing in front of enemies to attack them. If you like doing that, you can. I mean, it'll work. It's doing 30, 40 damage. It's okay, but he's taking a lot of damage as well. Alright, I don't know if I'll be able to show you the Soul Gem ability, but I'll try. It's called Having a Blast. And what you do is when you suck up somebody in the vacuum, you are always able to shoot them as a projectile, but now when you shoot them as a projectile, they will bounce off and hit other enemies. Problem is, that's pretty boring and you can't tell it's happening, and you actually have to be able to suck somebody up. And these guys do not get sucked up. As much as I want to suck them up, they don't. What I need is some of those undead minions of the spell punks. But these guys aren't giving me any of those. So I'm back to using the blade attack, and which will bounce off some of them. And there's some of the minions. Alright, I'll suck them up. Now if I shoot them at somebody, well, it's supposed to bounce off. It's not bouncing off very well. I'm missing for the most part. That took out the spell punk there. So that's the soul gem ability. There's another explosion. Again, not worth doing. So watch. I'll just spam the blades. That's it. For multiple enemies, the blade attack is awesome. For everything else, there's nothing that Jet-Vac can do that is very awesome. All you can do is stand back and shoot the blades, which is good. I mean, it does a good amount of damage, and you'll just have to shoot and move just like you used to do with any other ranged Skylander. And that's pretty much it.
And here is your winner.
So I think Jet-Vac is a little bit improved over last year's version, just based off his discs bouncing off enemies and doing a lot more damage. Much faster to shoot those discs. But everything else about Jet-Vac is easily forgettable. Alright, well, I'm going to take a minute here and switch over to one of our star challenges for the sky, and I'm going to use the jet stream, and we'll see how the jet stream works. So I'll be right back with the jet stream. Alright, I'm back, and I got the jet stream ready, and we're on chapter 9, where we're going to fly over the cloud breather dragon and show you some of the jet stream's attacks. So let's get back into the game. Now, Jetstream's basic attack is, as you would expect, it's those spinning fan blades that Hurricane Jet-Vac uses. So if you hit the attack 1 button, you can just shoot these at the enemy. Now, they don't bounce off enemies, or do they? Oh, I guess they do. Well, that's cool. It doesn't say it does that, but it does do that, I guess. So that is very much like Jet-Vac, and they do a lot of damage. Look at that, 254 each, plus they're bouncing off, hitting somebody else. That is some good attack power. Now, we're going to go get these ships that we have to get. His second attack is called the Vacuum Bomb. This is almost like the Hurricane attack that we saw that Jet-Vac had. Now, Jet-Vac's attack wasn't that great, didn't last that long, but this one is different. This one is pretty cool. We hit the attack 3 button, it takes a minute, these blades come out and it just swirls around the enemy. Pretty good damage. Let's do it again. Now you can shoot it to power it up even more. So you'll see it kind of charge, and then it just goes right through the enemy. It's not very good against the small guys. Yeah, it'll kill the small ship, no problem. But what you want to do is save that for the big boss battle type ships, because it does a lot of damage and it just spins there and it goes right after and destroys everything in its path. The smaller ships, though, because it's a slow attack, will go around it. So these ships are pretty good. It helps if you wait for the green reticle tooth to aim on it, or else you might shoot the wrong ship. So there, I shot that ship. It's doing damage, can't tell. There, it actually killed it, I think, as it went down. Whoops, shot at the wrong thing. Now you can shoot them over and over again. They only take a second. You get lots of them out there, and that's just gonna eat away at the ship. Did it get it? Did it get it? No. These ships you gotta shoot lower. There we go. So, I don't know. It's kind of... They kind of take the two best attacks of Hurricane Jet-Vac and put them on this Jetstream.
Thank you for saving our temple.
And that's pretty cool. So I like the Jetstream a lot better than Hurricane Jet-Vac. It's pretty fast. It has good handling. It's not as fast as, say, the Sky Slicer, which is still probably your best racing vehicle, but you will win races with the Jetstream. So it's not a bad vehicle to use in a race. It's definitely not a bad vehicle to use in the any of these missions where you have to do the attacking. We used it a lot, especially that vacuum bomb, that attack 3 attack that you saw. We used that a lot. It's slow, but it does, it does a lot of damage as it eats its way through the bigger ships. So for the small ships, you just shoot them with those razors, those spinning fan blades, and they bounce off the other ships like you saw there, doing lots of damage. Very powerful. I would use Jetstream more in the fights than I would use the Sky Slicer. But Jetstream is a valuable vehicle to have all around. So I definitely would recommend the Jetstream. That's why we're giving the Jetstream an 8.5. And as far as Hurricane Jet-Vac goes, and Legendary Hurricane Jet-Vac, neither one really seems necessary. If you had one from previous years, you don't really need to upgrade to this one. Yes, his spinning blade attack is cool and it'll do a lot of damage. You'll get the job done, no problem. It looks cool, causes lots of chaos, but basically it's his only attack. It's the only attack you're ever going to use, is hitting that X button or the attack 1 button and just throwing those razor blades out. So he's very one-dimensional, and he just doesn't have any depth to him at all. So not recommended, but not useless either. So we're going to give him a 7. It's an okay score. He's an okay Skylander, but you don't need him. You're better off just buying the Jetstream if you want an air vehicle. Anyone can fly it. You don't have to be supercharged. You don't get that much of a bonus to be supercharged. But then again, if you have the Sky Slicer, you don't really need the Jetstream either. Like either one will do. They both do about the same good job. The Jetstream has less armor, so it's easily to be blown up. The Sky Slicer is much faster, but it doesn't have quite the handling as the Jetstream. But overall, they're both great air vehicles. And if you just had to get one of these two, I would get Jetstream over Jet-Vac. Alright, well that wraps it up for this review. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Visit us at SkylanderNutts.com, where we have more reviews, more gameplay videos, and information on all the Skylanders from all the games. And I'll be back again soon with another Skylander Supercharger review. Until then, have fun, and I'll see you soon.